I'm Tim from Tim's PC, and I build custom PCs to suit anyone's needs or budget. Also live stream my builds and repairs for transparency and educational purposes. So if you'd like to get an awesome new PC and you'd like to see it put together live, send me a message today. Alright, so we're back here tonight. So we had a few dramas with the last PC that we built, and we're building a very similar one here tonight, but hopefully we won't have the same dramas. We do have a different motherboard than what we had last time, so I guess that's a good thing. So if you didn't catch it, we had a couple of, like, one of the memory channels. So two of the RAM slots on the motherboard were defective, weren't getting anything from them. So that motherboard is a dead on arrival, or a DOA. So that just gets returned and swapped. Unfortunately, just delays things a little bit. But yeah, we've got a different motherboard tonight. I don't like to buy all of the same motherboards. There's about $5 difference in price between this MSI B550M Pro VDH Wi-Fi motherboard and the Asus one from the other night. So instead of buying two of the Asus ones, because then, you know, if there's a batch issue, I'll have two dead motherboards to contend with. We got this one instead. So I also like to swap things around a little bit, you know, where possible, because it keeps things fresh for the channel and stuff. So, all right. So tonight we've got, like I said, it's very similar to the other night, but the main difference is we've got a Ryzen 5 5600 versus the 5600 GT from last night. The different motherboard, we've got a B550M Pro VDH Wi-Fi, and we've only got 16 gigabytes of RAM. So it's a little bit lighter, this one, than the one from the other night. But as you'll see, with the 4060 there, it's they'll be pretty comparable in performance. So let's get stuck right into it. Hey babe, could I get a pair of scissors?
Sure.
So we need our Wi-Fi antennas and our I/O shield. I don't think we need any SATA cables. So this is a really good motherboard. This is probably the best low-end, well, not low-end, sort of low to mid-end B550 motherboard that you can get. I've plugged Ryzen 9 5950X into this and stuff, and it doesn't overheat or anything like that. It's a very well-behaved board. And let's go through the features quickly, because this might be your next motherboard. We've got 8 pins of CPU power. We've got this direct touch heatsink here on the MOSFET and VRM. Our AM4 socket, obviously. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 fan headers. We've even got USB-C on the motherboard. We got USB 3. It's horizontally orientated, so that makes it look a lot neater. We got 4 SATA ports. We've got 1 5-volt and 2 12-volt RGB headers. We've got 2 M2 slots, 2 PCIe X1s, and obviously our PCIe X16 there. Ew. Put the sticker down. It's, yeah.
Bailey. No.
Sticky. What's the deal? So yeah, pretty good motherboard. On the back there, we've got what do we got? 4 USB 3s and 2 USB 2s. We've got our Wi-Fi 5 and Bluetooth 5. So DDR4 RAM's really, really, really well priced right now. So if you weren't looking at DDR5 and you're worried about the cost of RAM, I had someone inquire today. They were worried about the cost of DDR4, and I'm like, what, man? What are you talking about? DDR4 is cheap, like it is right now. And I'm like, yeah, you can. If you can find, you know, told him, you know, if you can find a kit of 3600 megahertz CL16, that's the absolute best performance that you can get with DDR4. Like, you can get faster DDR4, but then it's higher latency, which kind of counteracts the fact that it's faster. So 3600 megahertz CL16 is the sweet spot between latency and speed for DDR4. You'll pay a lot. You'll pay probably 50% extra for that spec compared to what we've got here, which is 3200 megahertz CL16. But we've got a Ryzen 5600 here, and it's quite happy with just 3200 megahertz CL16. We've done quite a lot of builds on this exact motherboard. For AMD systems, since Tim's PC officially launched, I've sold more of these for AMD than any other motherboard. So it's not just because they're cheap. It's also because, as I've said on a few times, if you watch the channel, MSI are famous for motherboards. That's like what they're famous for, right? Like, yes, I've got an MSI SSD here, but they're not famous for their SSDs. They just get other people's SSD and put their own brand on it and stuff like that. So it's a bit different. Whereas the motherboards, this is what they're known for. This is what they're famous for. They make good motherboards. They have people like me that build PCs who are quite aware of how good their motherboards are. And honestly, yeah, you don't want to forget that as a company. Don't forget who you are. I thought that was screwed in. You gotta be really careful that you've definitely got them threading when you tighten it up. Okay. Okay, just like that. So you can just tuck a bit of that excess cable length up behind that there on the Wraith Stealth Cooler. Yeah, it looks quite neat.
Rick's replacing without having dinner and getting a sneaky watch of YouTube.
Oh man, I hope you're not sitting there with the missus watching me on your phone. Fuck, man.
Better not let her catch ya.
Don't let me be the frickin' cause of any shit. Tim's PC does not condone frickin' watching Tim's PC while your wife's staring at you across the dinner table.
Jeffrey says yo.
Hey man, how you going? Good to have you with us. Got this little sneaky AM4 4060 build, which is probably a more realistic option for quite a lot of people right now when it comes to a gaming PC, because times are pretty tough. I did a mobile call out this afternoon, and I was talking to the customer there, and she was saying that her elderly father, he gets like groceries and stuff like brought to him. He like basically never goes to the shops. He hadn't been to the supermarket in nearly 4 years. And he comes down to the supermarket with my customer, and he's like walking around going, "What? Tim Tams are $5? What? What's going on? What's happened to the prices?" He like had no idea. I thought that was pretty funny. Don't forget the I/O shield. Yeah.
Wants to know what's the total cost of this build.
This would have been. Hang on. Sorry, I don't remember the price of most people's rigs, because I do lots of quotes for different people for different systems, and it all kind of merges together in my mind after a while. I'm not trying to like rip you off by getting you to call me or something like that. It's not some sales tactic like that. I literally just don't remember the cost of systems, because I mean, I've done 10 quotes for people today with 10 different prices for 10 different systems, and a lot of them have similar parts. So yeah, I'm just one man. Okay.
Tim.
Yeah.
Rohan wants to know which is better in comparison, 4060 or 7600 XT?
Depends on what games and stuff you're running, like always. Both of those cards are fairly similar. The 7700 probably pulls ahead from the 4060 in most games, I would imagine. But the thing is, Nvidia sells. That's what consumers want. Like, you can't sort of swim against the tide too much. You know, the way that it goes is the customer will get an Nvidia quote if they don't ask for an AMD quote, or if they're after something like really cheap, where my go-to is the RX 6600, for example. You know, in that case, they will get recommended a Radeon card. But yeah, I mean, I just know from experience, when I do quotes for Radeon cards, that's when I get people go, "Oh, that looks really good, but can I get the same thing but with an Nvidia card?" And after a while, you know, it gets a bit tiring, you know, doing like requotes and stuff. So it will just default to the 80% of the time kind of thing. Yeah.
That customer you had this afternoon, I said, "Hey Tim, PC is working great. Thanks for helping today."
No worries at all, man. It was another Riley, babe.
Oh, that's a popular name.
It is a popular name for that generation.
To the 4060 7600 XT thing, everyone says I don't run games, just operating systems work once I get into uni.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not gaming, yeah, have a look. I mean, even have a look at the RX 6600, 8GB. I mean, that's an excellent price. You know, it's not the best gaming card or anything like that, but it's decent. You know, it's better than onboard graphics. It's better than RTX 3050. Yeah, like I mean, it's pretty good. And if you're not gaming and you're not doing anything intensively uses the CPU, you know, maybe that's a good option. Or you know, maybe you don't even get a graphics card at all and just get a good CPU with onboard graphics. You know, because that might be perfectly fine for you as well. Yeah.
Jeffrey wants to know why his FPS drops in some games. He's running a 3400 Ryzen 3400 with 16 gigabytes RAM, Radeon 580.
Oh, there can be a million reasons why your frame rate will drop in a game. I can't give you specific advice because there's too many variables. I mean, I'm as good as another random opinion or random solution on Reddit to a problem, unless I have the system in front of me and I can sort of work things out a bit more. Sounds like you've got older hardware, you know, based on that.
Are always updating, so.
Yeah, have a look at. I mean, we'll assume he's done software updates, but maybe there's a BIOS related update that could be done. Yeah, it's hard to know, man, because it could even be an issue with your internet connection and stuff. You'd have to do an audit on your connection to see whether there's instability and. Like, I mean, you gotta rule out potential problems for that, because it's not like there's one sort of cause for your FPS to drop. Yeah.
Rohan wants to know if this is 6600 run YouTube. If yes, I'm down for it.
Oh, absolutely, man, absolutely. Yes, the 6600, it'll have pretty sure it's got 4 display outputs on it. It'll at least have 3, and you'll be able to output to 3 displays at once if you want. And with RX 6600, if you did ever want to run a game or do any video editing using apps that utilize a graphics card, you'll be prepared for that. I mean, we're talking about FPS with a guy in the chat there, and yeah, FPS is specifically it's a gaming related performance, and you'll get a decent amount of FPS for anything you want to run by the sounds of it from the RX 6600. FPS is more of a thing that's in the first person shooter online multiplayer games like Call of Duty and Fortnite. So for those people, FPS is really important. And yeah, I get lots of people asking me, why does my FPS drop and all this, and I can't give them a solid answer, because, you know, is it your internet connection? Is there maybe a problem with your memory? Is there maybe a problem with software that you've installed in Windows that's causing problems in the background there? Is it just a case that the latest update with the game that you wanted makes the game a bit more CPU intensive, and your CPU is a little bit older and it can't quite cope in those sort of moments where it's most intense? Like, there's just so many things, man. And you know, for me, I can't fully troubleshoot those sort of issues for you if you know, when you install other software. That's the thing. Like, people think, oh yeah, tech people, they know everything about tech, but you know, I don't know stuff about technology or devices and stuff that I haven't used or that I haven't specifically looked up and researched myself. So, you know, I know with tech, you learn everything you need to know about what you do for your job. And then, you know, with regards to other things, sure, you might have some insights, but you still need to learn the thing for the first time you do it, just like everybody else. It's not like you have like, like this like Indian guru who can just like, whoa. Like, it's just not like that. And people sort of treat you like it is. It's real funny. Yeah.
Rohan says, since it's going to be a kernel device, drive work less and more on the CPU, down on the GPU.
Yeah, 100%.
Jeffrey says, thanks for your advice.
No worries.
Damon says hi.
Hey Damon, how you going? Good to have you with us. We are building a Ryzen 5600 RTX 4060 on an MSI B550M Pro VDH Wi-Fi motherboard. It's an excellent board. I've sung its praises many times here at Tim's PC. And now is no different. I still sing its praises. I've sold, I don't know, at least 300 of these motherboards in people's computers, and I've had like 2 come back. And if you wanna know a little bit of an insight to that number, so typically you can expect failure rates and warranty claims on tech products like this to be approximately 1%, unless there's some kind of like batch issue with a certain product, if that makes sense. And so 2 motherboards out of 300 plus sales, that's less than 1%. And so if it's less than 1% that you've observed, that's a good thing in tech. That means you've got a reliable system and it doesn't have too many problems. And in addition to that, I don't get many support calls for people with this platform as well. So that's the other one. So there's been significant issues with Gigabyte boards, some of the newer ones. So yeah, for if you're looking at AM5 socket, I personally would boycott all of the Gigabyte boards until further notice. Okay, just putting it out there. I've had significantly more than 1% failure rates and other sort of major problems. So I'm personally shying away from that for AM5. However, for Intel, for like a B760 or something like that, I haven't had any issues with those boards. So what am I doing?
says thanks. George says hi there to Christine.
Hey George, how you going?
Rowan wants to know, do I also go for a motherboard on the higher end as well, since I'd be using a good CPU like the Z series instead of the...
Honestly, probably not gonna be a big deal for you and your workload. If you want, you have a look at maybe you know, Asus ProArt boards if you wanted something a little bit fancier. I wouldn't worry about the Z series or anything like that. As long as you get a reasonable cooler on it. I would personally stay clear of the higher powered Intel CPUs, unless you're confident tuning a CPU to run on a lower power setting and stuff like that to sort of make them behave themselves a bit better. If not, I would probably recommend like a higher end i5 from 14th gen or an i7. I wouldn't bother with the K series. The K series is probably still going to run a bit warm. Just the F or the no letter one. The no letter one will have onboard graphics as well. So you could maybe get the one with onboard graphics, right? And then maybe just roll with that. And if you think you need a graphics card, then you can look at just adding that, just buying that RX 6600 there. Okay, so
Thanks a bunch. I was worrying about the GPU too much. Appreciate it.
no, that's fine, man. Yeah, if you don't have a productivity like video editing, 3D modeling, etc., or gaming workload, you probably wouldn't even need the graphics card. And yeah, for not much extra, you can just get the CPU with the onboard graphics. Get that, roll with that. And then if you feel like you need a bit more graphical oomph, get the RX 6600 and plug it in after the fact. That's the beauty of PC. You don't have to rock up to, you know, the Apple store or whatever and frickin' drop like $4,000 on a system we could probably put together for $1,500. Like okay, so everything's pretty good back here. These cables here are a little bit annoying, but you can normally just tuck them around the side. That's just our USB 3 cable. That'll just sit like that. I mean, you can cable tie them down and stuff if you really want. I don't think it's necessary because it's going to be behind the wall there, and then if anything goes wrong, you don't run the risk of cutting a cable when you cut the cable tie out. Okay. Always go with the simplest solution to technical problems like that. You don't want to make more work for no reason. as one of my old friends who builds PCs and all that. Well, I don't think he does it anymore. He did it for a few years. As he would say, it's business up front, party out back. That's what efficient PC assembly looks like. And I more or less agree. But it should be, like, even if it's, you know, not done with 10,000 cable ties, it should still look relatively neat out the back as well. There's no reason why it can't. Okay, so if you plug your motherboard in, you've got this bar that you've got to pop out, and you're up there against some capacitors and you're worried about it. Just sort of bend it out like that, and just sort of bend it back and forward just to break the first weld. And then when you got it like that, bend it this way. And then you haven't touched those capacitors there. So that is one of those little pro tips that'll save you the fuck around of going, oh my god, I need to take the whole thing apart to bust these out after the fact. No, there's ways of going about doing that. And you don't think about it until you've seen it. Like, I'll give you an example, right? Do you know what I just saw before I went live? I was scrolling through frickin' Facebook, and it showed me there's been a new discovery in the kitchen. You can make your own frickin' pies and shit on a jaffle maker, on a sandwich toaster. You just get fucking puff pastry and put the puff pastry in the fucking jaffle maker. Fucking mind blown, right? You would never think of that until you see it. Then you're like, oh fuck. Okay.
Just because I'm in the kitchen doesn't mean I'm gonna feed you.
So I'm just gonna tie up this power cable.
I'd be making little curry puffs that Jaffle made.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many freaking options. Oh.
Really want curry puff now.
Oh. Do these bolts around the edge just quickly. Forgot to throw them on. Yeah.
I just built using the same processor, 32 gigabytes of RAM and RX 6800, silky smooth.
Yeah, it's fine.
Your rig will be much the same performance wise.
Yep.
Well, it's for a customer, but yeah.
Yeah. It's not my rig. I do build myself a new PC fairly frequently. Normally it's just more of a case swap because I just keep things fresh with a new PC case every now and again. Although I like the one they've got now, so I might end up staying with that one for a little while. The cat likes it as well. Cat fucking makes his own little home on top of it. Okay. Happy days. But that's only part one. We got to make sure it actually works. Did you get some software? No.
I got BIOS. I can get the software. I still have the thing open.
Chucks the BIOS. The other things up there.
Yeah, I see it.
It is not nice sticky, if you know what I mean. What?
What?
I plugged the RAM sticks.
You suck.
I know, right? Fucking hell. See, anyone can make mistakes. It happens. RAM sticks is relatively easy to make a mistake on. Especially if you're plugging them in with the motherboard on like different orientations. Sometimes your brain will do a bit of a brain fart, just like that. Okay, let's try this again.
That's funny you did that.
I know, right?
How embarrassing.
It's okay.
It happens.
No, chuck it in.
It's a flash.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's David's birthday next week.
Oh, really? Happy birthday for next week.
Watch me, Princess. I used Johnsbow CR1000 ARGB cooler rather than Wraith Stealth just because it looked cool.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, sometimes you add a cooler just for the aesthetics. 100%. But like I say to people who are on a budget, like, do you really need to buy the cooler? Like, because like sometimes people don't realize which CPUs come with coolers and which ones don't. It's typically all of the lower powered CPUs that come with their own
That
cooler.
is a cool looking cooler.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
Christine just looked it up. The Johnsbow. Good old Johnsbow. We've done Johnsbow Mod 3, Johnsbow Mod 5. We've done another one called something else. I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Mad Warrior says what's up.
Hey Mad Warrior, how you going? Good to have you here as always. Doing our thing and talking budget builds. Because yes, this is like under 1500. Might even be more. I'll have to look up the invoice. So I don't want to tell you it's one price and then have to go, oh no, sorry. Okay, so we can activate our XMP profile and we'll chuck in Windows USB and that will be pretty much it.
That's true. I thought the 5600 wouldn't come with one. I probably would have used the Wraith. It says set up XMP. Your RAM is 2666.
Yeah, we did that. But yes, everything's all looking pretty good now. Latest version of BIOS, XMP loaded correctly. And now it's time to finish up the software side of things. Is that your phone?
Yeah.
I wonder who it is. I'm sorry.
I threw my phone out the window.
Small dog, hey? Are you a small dog? You're a good girl. Good girl, hey? Sorry, my dog's scared. Christine's got the shits. She slammed some stuff around, and my bull mastiff cross American Staffordshire Terrier is scared. Yeah. People see her and they are scared of her, but she is so scared of everything else. She starts shaking. Like, you silly dog. This is the dog. Hang on a sec. Puppy dog. She's very small, aren't you? Yeah. You're on camera. You're live. Yeah, you're live. Anyway. Alright. So before we do anything else, we don't need to do RAID drivers. What is wrong with my frickin' drive? Sorry about this. My drive enclosure is not doing so well. The fact that this is all loading up really slow is a bit of a red flag. She got scared of you, babe. Okay. Oh, that's still going. Oh, sorry. Alright, so we'll restart now. And now we'll have an internet connection when we reboot. And we can do the rest of it. Okay. Yep, our XMP is definitely there. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Should still be donuts in the lounge room.
Alright, I don't think I've got anything else from in there I need to do. Alright, all of our devices are installed there, so that's good. Okay, everything's pretty good at this stage. We're just waiting for MSI Afterburner to install. Alright, making pretty good progress with this. And it all seems to be running completely fine and as expected, so that's good. Oh, looks like Reaver Tuner wasn't finished installing. Oh well. We can fix that. Just close the opened app. How hard is that? Okay, we'll set up our on-screen display here and we'll go and run Heaven and Valley and Superposition. And we'll get set up for our stress test. And then we'll sign off for the night. Okay. Oh, what am I doing? Alright, so we'll do Heaven on high, no anti-aliasing. And I'll explain this stuff on the screen. Up the top we've got GPU in green. We've got that's our graphics card. Temperature, usage, clock speed, wattage. We've got our VRAM there in green. Usage and clock speed. We've got our CPU, temperature, usage, clock speed and wattage. We've got our RAM usage there. And below RAM that's our frames per second that it's currently running at. Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Ipswich?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sweet. Definite. You might be earning more money than me. If you get that job, your boss will be a guy named Andrew.
No, okay.
Yeah, he's rock solid. He knows his shit. a sec. Okay, so that was Valley. Oh, sorry, that was Heaven there on high with no anti-aliasing. What's up?
Battlefield says, Tim, I'm going to be doing the same build. Is it good?
As this one? Yeah, it's great. Nothing wrong with this. Alright, we'll do Valley on Ultra with max anti-aliasing. Valley's more demanding even if we ran it on the exact same settings as Heaven. So it gives you a bit of an idea of some more demanding games. Yeah. Yeah. Give it a go. Wait, babe, check it out. On top of the monitor.
Hmm?
There's some snow on top of the monitor.
Oh my god, that's really funny. I'm an idiot. He thinks he's clever.
I am clever. Okay, and then finally we do superposition, which is a 4K benchmark. Though I personally, I wouldn't bother running 4K on this setup. No point. Yeah. So the thing is about screen resolution and stuff. 4K. When people say, "Oh, 4K gaming," they're not really talking about like sitting there on like a sort of standard size screen. That's not what 4K gaming is. 4K gaming is on the massive monitor, right? You need the pixel dimension on massive monitors. If not, it will look like shit. Go and have a look. I don't know if you've ever had the luxury of standing next to like one of those big, like 1.5 meter size displays that's only 1080p. it looks as blurry as analog television. It's disgusting. And that's because the pixel dimension is too small for the physical dimension. Those pixels are being stretched over a bigger area, so it's making the image look blurrier. So even though it's 1080p, which should be fine, because it's 1080p stretched over a massive screen, it looks like shit. So, you know, if you've just got like a 24-inch monitor, like a small monitor, 1080p is going to be fine. Even if you've got a 27-inch monitor, 1080p is still going to be pretty fine at 27-inch. Where 1080p starts to fall down is around the 32-inch mark. That's when you start really noticing that, oh shit, I should have got the higher resolution monitor. It's not quite as sharp as I hoped it would be. That's getting a 1080p at 32-inch, and 4K is basically anything above 32-inch. You might want to consider 4K. If you go 4K 32-inch, probably a little bit overkill, realistically. I would focus on getting an OLED or QLED panel. Something like that, nicer physical panel, you know, darker blacks and all that kind of shit. I'd focus on that more so. Like, I'd rather that and a 1440p monitor than like a crappy panel and it be 4K. So just to give you a bit of an insight there, because it's one of those things that generally confuses people a lot. Physical dimension versus pixel dimension for monitors and stuff. All right. All right. So that is another one. This is actually the second PC I've built today. All right. Okay. Alright, end of the night, we do our stress test. There is actually a whole new version of Firmark, like completely new. Actually, we got a bit of time. Babe, you need to see the new Firmark. Alright, here is new Firmark. Okay.
Cool.
So here is Firmark 2.3. And there's Cinebench.
Tim.
Yep.
JS's great show, Tim. Would you therefore recommend a 4K TV?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, for a TV, absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't go anything less than a 4K for a TV, because it's like, a TV's going to be like 40-inch plus. And that's what I was saying, like over 32 inch, that's when realistically 4K comes into play. Or if it's really big, if it's like 80 inch, maybe look at 8K. 8K TVs are a thing. So if you, like I said, the bigger your physical dimension is, you need to up that resolution alongside it. Because like if you got like a 4K monitor and it's like a 24-inch screen, you're probably not going to notice too much of a increase in quality, because it's all the pixels are being compressed in that case. You know, I was talking about them being stretched, and that makes it look bad. When they're compressed, it's like you don't even have them there at all, if that makes sense. Means like what would normally just be like 1 pixel as 1080p will then take up multiple pixels of the squashed 4K pixels, if that kind of makes sense. So hopefully your eyes aren't glazing over while I'm explaining it. But yeah, 4K from 40-inch plus 4K, it would be the standard. You wouldn't want less than that. But yeah. So how are we looking temperature wise? So CPU 74.1 degrees there under load with Cinebench plus Thermark running as well. How are we looking there? 66 degrees on our card with 76.3 on the hotspot. So hotspot can get to 100, and our CPU can get to 95. So under load here, it's running like 20 degrees under max, and our graphics card once again 25 degrees under max, and our GPU, that value there, that shouldn't get over 80 degrees. So that's running 14 degrees under. So realistically, based on those numbers now, I have no reason to think that the system's not going to pass the stress test. So happy days. We'll just let this one run. Yeah, we'll me and Christine will go and get some dinner and start to wind down for the night. Because I mean, I've got a little bit of stuff to do, but I'm not getting up early tomorrow. I'm having a bit of a sleep in. So how's that? Sleep in for me is like what, like 9 o'clock, maybe 10. I can't sleep in. My arms, I don't know if this happens to other people, my arms end up like going instantly dead when I'm lying there, like if after I've slept for a certain amount of time, and then I just have to get up. If not, I lie there and my arms get pins and needles in them and shit like that. So unfair. It makes me have to get up. So we'll give it a go. We'll see how long we can last tomorrow morning. All right. Well, back. Oh, not there. Wrong one.
I'm tired.
Wrong one.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So look, thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all in the next video.